What's up, guys? Ken Baden with Baden Consulting and Potomac Customer Modeling. And today I want to talk about the oversaturation, specifically within the roofing community. Number one, the low barrier for entry. In some states, there's literally no barrier for entry. In other words, anyone, including myself, could just come out tomorrow and register my business as a foreign entity in the state of Texas, and I can go and be a roofer. That's nuts, but that's just the way it is. Every state's different. Some states have tests. Some states have mini tests. Some states have nothing. You couple that with the fact that there's like no capital requirement, very low upfront cost to no upfront cost. But that's what happens when you have a massively oversaturated market. Now the burden's on the customer to have to do their due diligence and be educated and make sure that the person knocking on their door, because there's so many people knocking on their door. I mean, I think 2 years ago, there was like 8,000 roofers in the DFW area alone when I inquired about possibly doing some business there. It's a lot of people. That's pretty much it. Knock a door and then the client files the claim, boom, you're in business, right? The insurance company comes up with a payment. You take that as a third, you make your order. Most of these distributors have a net 30 or a net 60. You don't owe the money for the order for another 30 or 60 days. So you take that money that you get from that initial upfront check from the insurance carrier and you're in business. That is why it is so saturated. Literally anyone can do it. It lends itself to attracting turds. Sorry, but that's just the truth. Hustlers, right? There's a lot of people that joke about like, oh, in order to be a roofer, you got to be a drug addict and all this stuff. And look, believe me, the irony is not lost. And the fact that I myself am in the home service space and I'm in recovery. I have a criminal background from a very small stint in my life where I went and I've struggled with pain pills as a result of a car accident. But I have since completely turned all of those things around. But I'm a lot more than that, right? I'm also a college graduate. I had a lot of blessings before and after that. And so that hustler mentality is rewarded in this insurance restoration space. Why? Because again, you don't have to have any money. You don't have to have any real talent. You don't have to have anything other than a little bit of hustle. And that's not to take away anything from anybody that will like go out and bang doors, because most people won't do that. So if you have the willingness to get out and bang some doors and you have just a little bit of work ethic, you can make money in this space. Guys figure that out pretty quick when they go work for someone, and then they see this guy who sees this guy who sees this guy flashing all this money, and maybe they know that guy and they say, that guy can barely string together a coherent sentence, and this dude's out here flossing a Rolex or whatever car. I want to know what he's doing because I can probably do that, which again is not saying much. And I sound like I'm really ripping apart the insurance restoration space, but I gotta say, I kind of am. I'm disgusted with it as of late. I don't even want to be associated with it. I'm surrounded by it because by nature of what I do, on social media, I have consulting as well that I do on the side. So I tend to be friends with a lot of other roofing owners. Plus I want to do that. I want to be in the spaces in which my peers are so we can commune and talk about what's working and what isn't. But the unfortunate reality is wherever there is the insurance restoration base, there's drama, there's children, there's this like, what is this? This is not business or business ownership or entrepreneurship. It's exactly what's wrong with the space. It tends to attract the folks that are manipulative and are willing to and see a hustle there in a negative sense, that are like, I can work this system, I can game the system. Maybe not in these like storm states, but a lot of these places have these nefarious folks that like try to manipulate what's going on and make things hard for everyone else, because what they see is an opportunity to screw the system. Wind states tend to lend themselves to a lot of punk kids going out there and just tearing people's roofs up and calling it a storm damage. And that just ruins the industry for everybody else. And the insurance carriers are reacting. They were never the good guys, don't get me wrong. Having said that, when their bottom line is affected and it's just this mass influx of just complete maniacs that are just willing to say anything and everything, eating deductibles, falsifying storm damage, they got to react. And they would have reacted anyhow because they don't want to pay, and they're going to screw their clients because they're just themselves scumbags. So you have big insurance, which is white collar, just all profit, bottom line oriented, screw the little guy, screw the customer. And then you have no business being a business, no business being an entrepreneur, no real means of being an entrepreneur, but I'm going to call myself an entrepreneur because I'm willing to knock a door and buy a ladder and falsify insurance claims, storm damage, maybe not, deductibles. I mean, what talent does that require? So those two collide and it becomes an absolute mess. So one screwing the other over and one has a lot more money. This is why the insurance carriers have reacted the way they have. This is what's happening. So what's going to happen as a result of the changes that the insurance carriers are enacting as a result of this mass oversaturation in the market? I believe that it's going to weed out a lot of those types of folks that we talked about that really shouldn't have been there in the first place. But I also believe it's going to lead to a mass exodus from the insurance space. Maybe not mass exodus. It's already leading to a huge shift to retail. That's the future. Retail is consistent. Retail is predictable. Retail is real. In order to run a retail company, you really have to have your shit together. You have to actually know how to run a business. You have to be able to take and handle risk. But again, there's a lot of upside to it too. But there's definitely upfront costs. There's definitely risk. If you can see through those things, you'll have a business that is much more predictable, much more scalable in my opinion, and much more real. The way I see it, everyone's moving over to retail. I have seen personally in a lot of states that just didn't get storms, that traditionally get storms. Minnesota's one of them, where the inquiries into retail, I'm in a consulting space. Specifically, I work with companies that are insurance heavy, or perhaps they're in solar and they want to learn the roofing side. That's what I do, right? I take those businesses and I teach them how to do retail or insurance restoration. Typically on the insurance restoration side, I'll bring John Sinak in. He's an absolute savant when it comes to that, getting things bought. But when it comes to retail, that's my jam. So I suggest if you're in the insurance restoration space and you don't know anything about retail, find somebody, get a mentor, do a group, do a class, do something. You can certainly reach out to me directly at Baden Consulting and we can jump on a conversation and see if we might be a good fit. Traditionally, I like to work with guys that are in that years 1 through 5. I'd say, 3 to 5 million gross revenue, doable just about anywhere. I still have my own business. That's the priority. So I tend to take who I really want to work with and really would work with well. If you're interested, reach out to me directly, comment, DM, and we'll get together and see if we possibly are a good fit.
Set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake